Yeah, I wanted to dedicate this video to a guy named CrazyCumminsConvos. He asked me to do a review of Toxic Avenger. Now, I can't find my copy of Toxic Avenger, so I can at least reflect about the movie and the four sequels and some other stuff about Troma. Now, I remember growing up in the 80s, the good old days. Uh, I remember this one guy had a newspaper, or someone had a newspaper in on chow hall, not the chow hall, but the lunchroom in high school, and he was talking about the movie Class of Nukem High, and he said he wanted to see that, and they had a big ad for it. It was about a school that was near a nuclear power plant, and then I heard about that in Toxic Avenger. It came out about the same time. I didn't see the movie, and then they had a thing on sneak previews about it, and it definitely piqued my interest because it's like a horror comedy. And when it came out on DVD back in what 84, 85, I remember renting it. It was on Vestron Video, and the weird thing is they had an R-rated version, and then they had the uncut version. See the uncut version? That's the one that had all the gore in it. And I rented the uncut version, and I loved it, the Toxic Avenger. And then, not that soon afterward, they had Class of Nukem High, and I rented that from Media Home Entertainment, and I love that. I actually liked Class of Nukem High a little bit better. And I remember Fangoria said they liked it better than Toxic Avenger, said nifty effects. And then, but it was a cool movie about a crime fighter who, that was a big thing. They were doing a big thing about people being changed by toxic waste and stuff like that. They did something like that for, they had a Chevy Chase movie called Modern Problems, where he got contaminated by toxic waste, and he had all these weird powers. That was a PG rated one, or PG-13. No, that was before. I can't remember, but it was a comedy, and he had all these weird powers. And then they had a movie called Super Fuzz, which is about a cop that got the same thing, and he had all these weird powers. Ernest Borgnine was in it. That was like an Italian one. And then it was weird. When I was in the army, I bought a copy of the movie. It said unrated, and it wasn't unrated. It was the R-rated one with everything cut out of it. So I had to rent the unrated version and then tape the unrated version over that version. I bought it from a thrift store. And then I remember the second one. The thing about the second one I remember reading about it was Lloyd Kaufman, the guy who directed it, was given a ton of money. So he made like this. He went to Japan, because it's set in Japan. And he made a movie. He shot like 3 or 4 hours worth of footage, because he was given like $2 million. And then he edited it down to just the Japanese stuff to make a big budget second one. It was released on Warner Brother Home Video, believe it or not, originally. And what to do with the leftover footage, so he used it to make a third movie to save money. And the third movie was called Toxic Avenger 3, The Last Temptation of Toxie, where he faced a different villain and stuff. And then he put that on Vestron Video, right? And Vestron Video paid him like $1 million or $2 million right before they went bankrupt. The Vestron Video went bankrupt. I had the uncut version of that. And then soon after, not soon after, around 98, because it was like 91 when Toxic Avenger 3 came out. 98, they had Toxic Avenger 4 Citizen Toxie, where there's two Toxic Avengers, a good one and a bad one. The good one's the regular guy, and the bad one's called Moxie. And it was like a take on Citizen Kane, though, because it's called Citizen Toxie. And it was pretty good. I liked that too. I heard there's going to be a fifth one, but I don't know anything about it. Now, Lloyd Kaufman directed all 4 of those. Now, the one thing with the Class of Nukem High, there's 3 of those, but the first one, he only directed the first one. The second and third one, he let someone else direct, and they're not as good. But they're entertaining, but they're just silly. Well, they're all silly, but they're not as good. But I prefer the first Class Newcomb High. If you can get that, you should definitely see it. And then the other two Toxic Avengers, they're available on uncut format through Troma. And then back in the 90s, Toxic Avenger was so popular they had a cartoon series called Toxic Crusaders. I saw a couple episodes of it where it was like a syndicated cartoon thing. I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes of it. And then apparently they did a live action or animated movie called Toxic Crusaders the movie, which I have not seen. I can't find it anywhere. That looks really good. I had when I got out of the army, they had like at AM PM that went out of business. They had like a candy set where they had Toxic Crusader candies, and they had like 4 of them with 4 heads, including the Toxic Avenger one. They were all plastic heads with the candy inside them. They're for like $1 a piece. I had all 4 of them. I think I threw them away when I was cleaning up. That was a long time ago. I wish I still had those to show them on a video. But Toxic Avenger is probably the most famous thing that Troma ever did. And then, whenever I saw Toxic Avenger, I became a big Troma fan. I tried to rent anything Troma. And some movies are good, some movies aren't. I saw a great one called Poultrygeist Return of the Chicken Dead not that long ago. My friend made a copy of that for me. I saw that one. And I've seen a whole bunch of other great Troma movies like Sergeant Kabuki Man. That's a good one that had a big budget. Lloyd Kaufman said he wished he would have made it bloodier, but it's really good. And then last night I saw a crazy movie on Turner Classic Movies, The Underground. They had The Underground Friday night, now they moved to Saturday night. A movie called The Thing That Would Not Die. And basically it was about like this girl that had like this divining rod. She was looking for water, and she found like this real evil thing, and she said not to dig there, and they dug there anyways, and it was a chest, and it contained this head of this body that was decapitated a long time ago, back in the 1500s, and there was this amulet to defeat it, and the thing was, whenever they cut the head off, the head was still alive, and also the headless body was still alive. And they said that the only way the curse would be lifted is the decapitated head got attached to the body. Well, they found the coffin of the headless body also towards the end of the movie. And when they opened it up, the headless body came right out of there, and they attached the head to the body and stuff. It was pretty cool. It's an old black and white movie. I don't want to give anything else away, but it's pretty cool. And then also, I was going to mention on SmackDown Friday night, Theodore Long came out as general manager, and he was talking about things that are coming up, and then he wanted to announce the return of Booker T, who was originally the general manager, and he came out. And then Vince McMahon came out, and he said he wanted to let everybody know who the official general manager is of SmackDown from now on. And guess who he said? Vicky Guerrero. So Vicky Guerrero is right now the official general manager of SmackDown. So I don't know what you guys think of that, but it was something else. I'm filming this in my living room right now, but this video is for CrazyCumminsConvos. He wanted me to do something about Toxic Avenger, and I thought I'd at least tell him about my memories of it, and what else was there? Whenever I saw that, I was a big fan. Anything Troma I'd rent. And there was a whole bunch of stuff you had to just see Troma at the bottom, because Troma bought a lot of movies. And Troma was in existence since the 70s, but and they had like some sex comedies that they did earlier on. But I think their biggest claim to fame was when Toxic Avenger came out and Class to Nukem High. I think that's what gave them a lot of attention. But I rented a lot of Troma stuff. But one Troma movie to stay away from is Nightmare Weekend. It's called Nightmare Weekend. It is awful. So, I guess that's it. I thought I'd let you guys know about that. This is for CrazyCumminsConvos, who wanted me to do a video about that. This is called Tales of Troma. So, until next time, take care, my legion.